Welcome everyone. For today's painting, I'm creating a scene with Santa and his reindeer on a snowy winter's night. For this painting, I'm using a small filbert brush, a number 4 pointed oval wash brush, and a 6x6 inch pre-gessoed canvas board. To make the moon in the center, or not quite center, off center on the canvas, I traced my bottle of glitter paint to make a perfect circle. For the background, I'm starting off with titanium white and phthalo blue. I dip my brush right into the paint, not into the water first, and move the phthalo blue around the canvas, and then dip the paintbrush right into the white, not rinsing out in between the colors. Going around the moon, I try to be careful, but if you do make a mistake and paint inside of the moon, you can quickly wipe it up with wet Q-tips, or you can just wait and paint over it with white once the light blue is dry. The next step is to put in 8 little lines to represent the very tippy tops of the Christmas trees or the pine trees. And then with my brush, which is, it's a pointed brush, and so the marks that it leaves, to me, kind of looks like pine branches under heavy snow, but you can use whatever shape of brush that looks most like tree branches or pine tree branches to you. While I'm doing it, here it's sped up, so it's a bit difficult to see, but I'm doing 3 strokes down one side, 3 strokes down the next side. And so in my mind when I'm doing it, I'm just thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Kind of like a dance step, but with a paintbrush. And I'm not too concerned about the way it looks right away, as I'm going to be adding snow. So the snow covers up most of the branches, as I decided I wanted it to look like there was just a really heavy, thick, sticky snow that are really weighing down the pine trees. And for the snow, I'm following the pattern of the branches that I have already laid down. And I'm keeping the white paint, or first, it's actually a light blue paint, where I mix just a little bit of the phthalo blue with the white. It looks white on camera maybe, but it's a very, very pale blue, where it's mostly white and a little bit of phthalo blue. And I'm keeping it really thick on the brush so that it's thick on the board, and that way I don't have to wait too long for everything to dry completely and then go over it with another layer of it. It just looks nice and light blue right away. So here I'm going over the light blue with pure white on my brush. I wiped off any of the remaining light blue on the brush so that it would be a stark, pure white. And what I'm trying to do, which I don't know how well I did it, how well I pulled it off, but what I'm trying to do is make it look like there's more of the light on the top of the pine trees where the moon is shining down, and a little bit less light on the snow towards the bottom of the pine trees. So I'm putting the reflection of the moonlight heavily on the top of the pine trees, and then a little bit lighter on the bottom of the pine trees. For the white of the snow, I have to go back many times and keep reloading the brush with the white to keep it nice and thick on the end of the brush so that it doesn't just blend in to the still partially wet light blue on the branches so that it retains its nice crisp white color and it looks like the highlight of the moonlight on the branches. Where I am right now is in Kansas City suburbs, and we've had rain for the past couple days. It's Christmas Day today, and for the past couple days it's just been pouring rain, which is slightly unusual for this area. But this morning the rain turned into snow, and I might have been more excited than my kids. They're teenagers now. They're not as excited about snow as when they were little, but it felt like a little Christmas miracle. I was really excited about it. And last night as I was finishing this painting, listening to it was a very soothing rain, but just didn't quite feel like Christmas to me since growing up in the mountains of Montana, we would always have a snowy Christmas. And then as a teenager in the suburbs of Chicago, we would have feet of snow, and so I always associate snow with Christmas. So here I have all the trees covered in snow, and I'm taking my stretchable eraser, which I just love, my kneaded eraser. It's soft, and you can pick up pencil very gently from the surface of the canvas or the paper, and I just removed the little bit of pencil mark that was still there. And then I go around the edge of the circle with light blue, and I'm just touching up where it wasn't quite touching the pencil line. The next step is to add your snow. To add snow, I'm using a number 2 round brush and the titanium white paint, about 50-50 mixed with water so that it's easier to tap hard with another brush or a pencil, so something heavy, and have that snow effect. While the painting looks beautiful as is, I've decided to add some sparkle, a little magic with a folk art glitterific fine rose gold on the moon. To do this, I just dip the brush right into my little container of the acrylic glitter paint and spread it right on the moon. And then next I'm using the folk art glitterific rose gold with the larger glitter pieces, and I'm using the brush to put them right onto the pine trees, which I think just makes them glow and adds some magic to it. I just discovered painting with the glitter acrylic paint not too long ago, and I'm in love with it. I may put it on too many things, but I just think it adds so much to it, a lot of fun, a little bit of magic. And for this painting, my vision was like a childhood dream of what that night of waiting for Santa, of his sleigh, flying across the moon, what that might look like in a snowy pine forest. The glitter is a bit tricky to work with, so you might have to give it a few tries, going over the trees a few times. And I tried not to cover all of the snow because it does give it a bit of a darker look since it is the gold color, but I covered maybe every other branch with the glitter. Not in a pattern, but more randomly. So here we are, we have the finished or glitterified maybe painting, and it looks beautiful just like that. You don't have to do anything more to it. I decided to add a little Santa on his sleigh with his reindeer. Just gave it enough detail to make it seem like there were 9 reindeer there. If you wait until your painting is completely dry, do this the next day, then you can use a watered down blue or black. Try it out kind of quickly, and if you don't like it, you can use a wet cloth to kind of erase it and just have the moon and the pine trees. I was pretty happy with mine, so I left it there, and I think it adds just some fun to the painting. At the end, I added a tiny little red dot for Rudolph's nose, just for fun. So here we have the finished painting of the magical snowy pine forest with Santa and his sleigh. I hope that you get the chance to create today and have a Merry Christmas. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me.